So today I want to talk about how to avoid holding dud properties in your portfolio. There are a lot of people, property investors, that have 5, 6, 7 properties. I work with them all the time. And oftentimes they don't work with me in order to buy another property, but to review their existing portfolio and figure out which of their properties they should sell. Because there's a saying that birds only fly as high as they are able. Okay, birds only fly as high as they are able. So if you have dud properties in your portfolio, then that portfolio is only going to fly as high, so to speak, as it is able to. And even if you have 5, 6, 7 properties, and on the face of it, you can say, look, I'm a property investor, I have so many properties, in total they are valued at 2 million or 3 million or whatever the case may be. If you have dud properties, then you will not get the equity increase in your portfolio fast enough, and you won't be making a passive income in the short and long term. Okay, so birds will only fly as high as each of them are able. So in order to make sure that you don't just accumulate a portfolio for the sake of it, to make sure that you actually accumulate a portfolio that will achieve you the passive income target, that safety, that security, that assurance that in 5 years' time, 8 years' time, 10 years' time, you will be able to have some flexibility in your role, in your professional career, to reduce working hours, or at least have some choice not to work, then it's really, really important that you don't put education second, but you put education first. Okay, because otherwise the ego metric will be really strong. You'll have 3 properties or 5 properties or 7 properties. You might get to that number if your household income is super, super high and you're a really, really good saver. But even though you get that number of properties, that portfolio is not going to increase fast enough in value, and it is not going to allow you to transform all of those properties into very, very, very heavily cash flow cash cows. Because that's what we want. In 10 or 15 years' time, we want cash cows. We don't want to have to think about those properties. We just want all of them, or each and every one of them, to be giving us $20,000 to $30,000 to $35,000. And in that way, and that's net, by the way, and in that way, you just need between 3 and 5 properties to have a very comfortable low six-figure income that basically takes care of you if you choose to retire before the age of 65 or in retirement after you turn 65. But if you already have a portfolio and there are properties in there that you bought in 2015 or 16 and 17, and you know that they haven't done anything, you know that they're maybe not even producing any passive cash flow, maybe they're producing $1,000, $3,000, $2,000, and they haven't increased at all, or maybe they've increased 10, 15, 20,000, maybe even just 50,000 in the last 3 to 5 years, then you know what I'm talking about. You are one of those property investors, for better or worse, that has dud properties. Because a good property should allow you to extract equity within the first 3 years. Okay, ideally within the first 2 years, but within the first 3 years. Okay, that is the definition of a good property purchase. And simultaneously, it should be giving you a more and more net of all costs, positive cash flow, passive income from day one. Okay, so if you are a property investor that unfortunately isn't experiencing that, or haven't experienced that, even though you may have 2, 3 properties, then you know exactly what I'm talking about. But for those of you who are watching this and listening to this and don't have any properties, then I encourage you, don't just accumulate properties for the sake of it. Okay, that's not going to get you to your goal. It's not the number of properties or how quickly you can buy the properties that counts, that matters. It's the quality of the purchases. Okay, of course, the more the better, but we need to have quality purchases. And quality purchases mean that they increase in the first 3 years, ideally before that actually, so that you can take equity out of that property, recycle that debt, and go again and again and again, and all the while every year increasing your passive income, so that in 10 or 15 years time that passive income is starting to hit $100,000, a net of all costs. Okay, and at that time in 10 or 15 years, with the right strategy, you should also be looking to retire all your debt, not through paying off mortgage payments, not through using your hard-earned money that you earn by going to a job and using that to pay off the debt. No, we want to let the market pay off the debt. Okay, so that's a very specific strategy that very advanced property investors use. You let the market pay off the debt, not your hard-earned money. Okay, so that is how you do property investing, but a quality of properties needs to be there to achieve those strategies, to achieve those outcomes. Birds can only fly as high as they are able to. Different types of birds can fly at different altitudes. And so therefore, different property portfolios will give different results depending on the quality of properties within that portfolio. The number of properties doesn't matter. How quickly you buy properties doesn't matter. How much you can boast to your friends or at the barbecue or your colleagues that I have 5 properties, I have 8 properties, I have 10 properties. All of that is really useless. I know it seems really attractive when we first start. And in fact, when you do make a property purchase, you become a bit addicted to it. As soon as you sign on that dotted line and then you settle, you can't wait to get the next one and the next one and the next one. It's a bit like gambling to some extent. But I just want you to press pause, reset your mind and think, am I guaranteeing that my next or first purchase is going to provide positive cash flow from day number 1 and grow sufficiently so that I can extract equity in the first 3 years? And if you can't guarantee that, then you need some education. Alright guys, so hopefully that was useful. Quality, not quantity. Don't go for the ego metric. Make sure you don't buy any dud properties in your portfolio. So if that was useful, give me a like or a love. Any questions or comments, just chuck them in the comment section below, and I'll put a link here so you can get in touch with me and we can take it from there. Have a beautiful day. Bye.